Humiliated, self-conscious, scared, Donald Trump has been unraveling in the past 24 hours, and Kamala Harris is living rent-free in his head. Ever since their showdown at the debate, he can't shake that haunting moment when she looked him in the eye and said what everyone who watches the MeidasTouch network has known for a while, that people leave his rallies out of, quote, exhaustion and boredom. As Trump keeps getting brutal reminders of that truth, he's trying to rearrange his rallies now so people don't leave, and he is failing badly. Everyone is laughing at him now, and that has always been his biggest fear. Let me remind you of this moment yesterday in Wilmington, North Carolina, when 28 minutes into the speech, a journalist got this footage of droves of people leaving Donald Trump's rally. Check this out.
But take nothing for granted. You have to get out and vote. You just have to get out and vote. We cannot accept it. What they do is the only thing they do well. They cheat. The policies.
Now let me remind you of what Vice President Harris said during that debate night.
Actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
And you could see it in his eyes after she said that he was immediately triggered. And Trump instantly took the bait and started rambling about his crowd sizes. And quite frankly, he has not stopped since. Here he was at the debate after Kamala Harris's remarks.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies.
And then here he is this past week in Flint, Michigan, hosting this fake town hall along with Sarah Huckabee Sanders for some reason, and he was still talking about his crowd sizes and insisting that people don't leave.
She said, I don't think I've ever said this before. So we do these rallies, they're massive rallies. Everybody stays till the end, by the way. You know, when she said that, well, your rallies, people leave. Honestly, nobody does. And if I saw them leaving, I'd say, and ladies and gentlemen, make America great again, and I'd get the hell out, okay? Because I don't want people leaving.
Let's play that clip of people walking out of his North Carolina rally on Saturday one more time just for fun.
But take nothing for granted. You have to get out and vote. You just have to get out and vote. We cannot accept it. What they do is the only thing they do well. They cheat. The policies.
Aaron Rupar, who follows these events, wrote on Twitter that Trump's speech today, the speech in North Carolina, was noticeably shorter than usual, clocking in at about an hour when he routinely goes 90 minutes or more. He says, I wonder if he's getting self-conscious about this. And based on Donald Trump's constant statements about his crowd size now and him continuing to reference Kamala Harris's remarks during the debate, to me, it's very clear that Donald Trump is incredibly self-conscious about this, and he was trying to stop it in North Carolina, and he failed miserably. The New York Times also wrote a report where they did a photographic investigation of people leaving Donald Trump's rallies. They had high-resolution pictures of the beginning of Donald Trump rallies, and then they showed what it looked like an hour or so in with all the empty seats. Now that this is getting attention, you know that it is getting under Donald Trump's skin. And this debate has been haunting Donald Trump ever since it happened, and I think it's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. If you remember recently, Donald Trump even posted on his social media that he wants the federal government to go after ABC News and remove their broadcast license because he thinks they were mean to him during the debate, apparently. Well, Donald Trump, in a bizarre interview with Fox, said the same thing. Check it out.
And the questions and topics. Do you join in those questions?
Sure, I do. I think they should be investigated. And, you know, they have to get a license from the federal government. They asked me 9 or 11 different times about things that I was right on in virtually every case.
Now imagine getting your ass kicked so badly that you want to shut down the TV network that aired it for people to watch. That is wildly embarrassing, but it also has really serious implications. I mean, this is straight out of the Project 2025 handbook. This is exactly what Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans want: complete control over the media. And that should be absolutely chilling, and we need to sound the alarm about this. Donald Trump was also repeating these bizarre comments that he made on his social media app, where he told women that he will protect them and that they will no longer even be thinking about abortion if he is president. Watch this.
Will be over. Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free. You will no longer be thinking about abortion.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to hear these words coming from the adjudicated sexual abuser who stripped away the reproductive rights of women. I don't think anyone wants to hear from you about this topic, okay? Meanwhile, JD Vance is no better. He keeps going out there, he keeps spreading lies and conspiracy theories and just saying bizarre things like this.
It's so amazing when you have kids and you see how innate their personalities really are. So the 7-year-old is probably somewhere around here reading a book. He's like his mother. And the 4.5-year-old is much more like his dad. He's probably trying to find a building to burn down or something like that.
Huh? You want to burn down buildings? I don't even understand what you're saying, but I guess you are starting fires, at least metaphorically, in towns across America, like in Springfield, Ohio. You're supposed to be these people's senators, but instead you spread these horrific lies about the migrant communities who live there, and you cause them chaos, you cause evacuations and bomb threats, and you still refuse to admit you were wrong. Here's what JD Vance said yesterday.
What I said is that we create media stories. In other words, we focus the people's attention on what's already going on. Does anybody really think, I challenge you, go to Springfield, Ohio, which has been overwhelmed by 20,000 Haitian immigrants. Go to any community that's been overwhelmed by Kamala Harris's illegal alien policies and tell me that these are stories made up by politicians.
Well, JD, the press did do that, including the Wall Street Journal, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch, and let's see what they uncovered when they went to Springfield, Ohio. They said, a Vance spokesperson on Tuesday provided the Wall Street Journal with a police report in which a resident had claimed her pet might have been taken by Haitian neighbors. But when a reporter went to Anna Kilgore's house Tuesday evening, she said her cat, Miss Sassy, which went missing in late August, had actually returned a few days later, found safe in her own basement. Kilgore, wearing a Trump shirt and hat, said she apologized to her Haitian neighbors with the help of her daughter and a mobile phone translation app. So the person who spread the story in the first place was able to apologize, but JD Vance continues to spread these horrific lies that are simply rooted in heinous racism and frankly could get people killed. Like I said earlier, Donald Trump was doing this very bizarre, pre-taped, heavily edited interview that aired on Fox last night. And one of Donald Trump's big pushes is that he pretends to know what Bitcoin is. But there was this moment where it's very clear that he has no idea what it is.
I don't even get it. Do you understand what you bought? Hamburger?
Well, I did. I bought a hamburger with Bitcoin. They said it was the first purchase ever made, I guess, of a hamburger or something. And now, look, I'm a believer in staying at the top. This is a hot thing. And rather than giving it to China, like the AI stuff, artificial intelligence, China's going crazy about it. They're also going crazy on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And I do understand it. I think it's going to be a very hot industry, and it already.
Meanwhile, Vice President Harris was on Wired for one of their popular segments, and she spoke about her plan for first-time homebuyers.
Kamala Harris, policies. One of my policies is to make sure that first-time home buyers will get $25,000 in down payment assistance. So you can just get your foot in the door and be able to live that dream and obviously work hard and own a home, and that's part of building wealth. The tax deduction right now for startups is only $5,000, and no one can start a new small business with $5,000. Let's expand that and give people a $50,000 tax deduction to start up a small business. Our small businesses are the backbone of America's economy, including giving a tax break to middle-class families, including young parents of $6,000. So you can just have the support you need to buy a crib, to buy a car seat, to buy baby clothes, knowing that's such a fundamental stage of your child's life, the first year of life, and we want to do what we can to support your natural desire to parent.
And with Trump still being haunted by the last debate, he is far too terrified to do another, and now his excuse is that it's just too late because early voting has started in a couple of states. Watch.
She's done one debate, I've done two. It's too late to do another. I'd love to in many ways, but it's too late. The voting is cast. The voters are out there immediately. Is everybody voting? Please get out and vote.
Well, as we all know, debates are often held in late October, just like in 2016, just like in 2020. This is just an excuse from a very scared Donald Trump. And with just about 45 days or so, maybe even less, until Election Day, what is Donald Trump focusing on right now? And what are his propaganda networks focusing on? Well, you could check into the pre-show at RSBN, one of these MAGA propaganda networks, before Trump's event to see what their priorities are. Let's check it out.
I was going to say, you thought he was vaping,
I did too.
But if you saw, President Trump now wants to make vaping great again.
And Donald Trump is suddenly talking about bringing back vaping a whole lot. He posted about it on his social media this week. He brought some other influencers up on stage with him the other night to promote vaping. And it just seemed incredibly odd that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with this little time left until Election Day, Donald Trump has made saving vaping a key message in his final stretch of the election. But now it all makes sense. Thanks to a report from the Washington Post, Trump vows to, quote, save vaping after private meeting with vaping lobbyists. So the Washington Post says that his fulsome praise for vaping came just after a meeting with the head of Vapor Technology Association, which describes itself as the leading vaping trade association, representing more than 100 members of the industry. The episode is a further illustration of the unexpected salience of tobacco in the bitterly contested 2024 campaign, raising questions about race, financial pressure, and government regulation. But that's not all. The Washington Post says Trump's new posture is consistent with the recent financial support he has received from the tobacco industry. As the Washington Post reported this week, the biggest corporate donor to the primary pro-Trump super PAC is a subsidiary of Reynolds American, the second largest tobacco company in the country. So Donald Trump is being flooded now with money from big tobacco. So he is now taking all these pro-tobacco stances. This is a guy who could be easily bought. And it's so shown and represented throughout every single thing he does. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris is scoring her best marks in recent polls out of Pennsylvania. We saw this poll by Mass Inc. It's an A+ rated poll where she leads 52% to 47%. And this is with an R+4 sample. That is 4% more Republicans than Democrats in the people that they polled. And part of this is because Governor Walz has been absolutely blitzing the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Walz yesterday was speaking about how Vance got the crowd to boo lower interest rates. Watch.
We saw Senator Vance lead an audience when he said, well, they reduced interest rates this week. How terrible is that? And he got the crowd booing. Who boos for lower interest rates? Venture capitalists, apparently. Because people who want to pay a mortgage or want to get student loan, or whatever it might be, care about that. So look, we get it.
Then Governor Walz talks about how, we used to want to fight the Nazis and think they were the bad guys. These Republicans seem to think the opposite. Watch.
That iron from the northern Minnesota Iron Range fueled the steel mills here right in the Lehigh Valley. Together, it was our people that built the tanks that won World War II and freed the world from Nazi oppression. And I don't know if you noticed that Nazi tyranny. We got folks running as Republicans for governor that are proud to refer themselves as Nazis. Let's not pretend that there's a gradual difference between the folks that are running here, that they're running together.
This is good right here. Governor Walz mocks Trump's teeny tiny vocabulary.
But what you all know is it's what people don't say. And it's what Donald Trump never says. His vocabulary, while not hugely wide, there is one word he's very good at. Yes, someone smaller than that. I saw that. I see you there. The one word he knows well is I. Me. That's about as far as it goes. I, me, what's good in it for me. He didn't say anything about how he was going to make life better for the American public. He didn't say anything about how it was going to impact your family. He didn't even say anything how it's going to impact his supporters' families, because, of course, we're here to make sure the policies we advocate for are good for their families. Donald Trump.
Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz continued to pack in large venues and drive Trump and J.D. Vance absolutely crazy without even having to say a word. Just the very enthusiasm behind these two candidates is driving Trump absolutely nuts, and he still does not know how to handle it. Hey, we need you to spread these messages far and wide, okay? Could you hit that subscribe button? And if you're already subscribed to this channel, and make sure you are. Sometimes you think you are, but you're not. If you already are, hit the bell button, the notification button. That makes you get alerted every time that we post a video. Also, hit the like button and leave a comment. Let me know if you like this report. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.